everybody. This is Martin van Drunen from ASPHYX, and you listen to FANTASM Podcast.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy.
You are listening to FANTASM Podcast.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad.
Ryan is back from the Black Dahlia murder.
Tom Gabriel Warrior. Eric Green from Simple Tour.
Ross Dolan from Immolation.
We are Gorgasm.
Ismail from Crater.
This is Ernie C. of Body Count.
Terrence from Suffocation.
FANTASM Podcast.
Join your hosts Corey Gorchrist and Dr. Vincent West for exclusive interviews with the sickest bands in metal and more. Head over to cultofphantasm.com, the only gravesite for all things horror and death metal. No filler, all killer.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Corey Gorchrist Phantasm Podcast. I have the pleasure of welcoming back Martin of ASPHYX, and we're here to talk about the new album, Necroceros. It comes out January 22nd on Century Media. Very thrilled to have you, man. How have you been?
Yeah, very well, but despite the whole circumstances worldwide, I'm really happy. Well, at least we got something to do with promoting the new album, and so it's not just that we sit at home, we can't do anything because all the shows are cancelled. So I'm fine, but could be better if I would be able to play live, and also know if we'd be able to do like a release show or start promoting the new album live. That would be the best news that I could get. But I'm healthy. I've nothing when it comes to that, like nothing to complain about. So thanks a lot. Hope you're good. Hope you're good too.
Oh yeah. Staying healthy myself, trying to keep the interviews flowing and keeping everybody, keep the support out there and getting this stuff out. And when I saw that you guys were dropping a new album, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and then you released Botox Implosion. I was like, holy shit, ASPHYX has got a new album out. That's pretty crazy. It just kind of happened, and we were already 2 months away, so I'm pretty excited to get into this thing. And
well, there will be some teasers coming, through until January. So, because nowadays they want you to deliver like 3 kinds of videos. One real official. Yeah. And this is like they call it an official one, this Botox one, but it's still like a kind of a teaser thing.
Right. And
then after that, there's like a kind of a lyrical thing, like a lyric video.
Yeah.
It's like it comes with all these times right now, but I'm okay with it. If that's the way it works, then yeah, that's the way it works. But it's a bit different, big difference from the very old days where you
right.
Well, only the big bands did videos because you didn't have the finances to do that, and now
right.
It's pretty quick with all the cameras. So there will be some teasers. So you don't have to wait for all the songs like until January.
It's awesome. Yeah, because I guess with the digital age now, more people are paying attention to things online than anything.
Yeah, and also, yes, of course, especially like the youngsters, and of course, labels are jumping in on that wagon. Of course, they have to. If they don't, they're going to lose a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of their general market now. But
exactly.
I guess also it helps with the times now too, because of the pandemic and all this stuff going on. It's easier for people. They're already on the internet looking for stuff to listen to and watch constantly. They're out of work or whatever. So I guess in a lot of ways it helps bands out, at least I don't know, financially, but at least you're getting more playthroughs and views than you might, you normally would. And then, hopefully they're also helping out by buying the records and buying the merch because they're at home and, hopefully supporting the band as much as they can and everything too,
I mean, you're right at that, and that's fortunately the really good thing about the internet. Now with this pandemic, it shows how useful it can be, and that's a big advantage. I mean, if this would happen, let's just say like 30 or 40 years ago, it would be very hard for people to get in contact except for telephone.
Yeah.
And and like you said, like people can support, us or bands or whatever kind of music in general, or not just that, but also like theater or big philharmonic orchestras or whatever. I mean, and that's really a good thing. And hopefully, hopefully people are doing that, but you can actually also see that people are doing that because they see a rise in album sales, because especially here in Europe, there's so many shows always going on and so many tours and festivals and all that. And this year, the people and the fans were not able to even spend the money that they usually reserve for that. So what they're doing now is it seems that everybody bought a record player and starts to buy vinyls again. That's like a remarkable development, really. But that's cool, yeah.
Gotta do what we can to support, and at least we have music to help us through these shitty times. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things that helps through music and good books and some movies or videos or whatever people are watching, or documentaries and stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff. Because what the hell is that going? What the hell can you do? Like here the pubs are all closed.
Yeah.
You cannot hang out with people with that much. I mean, we can with the band, and we sometimes do, but. We have to keep it a bit quiet.
Yeah.
Because else, we have to get the cops on the door.
That's how it is right now, and you gotta have your drinks, with your bandmates.
Exactly. Well, there is a positive news that apparently they're just waiting now for permission to put the vaccine on the market, and then now they expect to. I think it was a German and an American corporation,
and
they expect to put the vaccine on the market like before the end of this year. So that's really something positive, fortunately. So I think then after that things will slowly get back to normal, fortunately.
It's like Pfizer or something that. Company.
Yeah, exactly. And there was something with biotech.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, like a German one.
Yeah.
So those two managed, and it's way faster than expected, which is really cool.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see something.
There was a run, because the one who's first. I mean, these guys are going to make so much bloody money now.
Oh yeah.
that's
well,
the thing.
If it helps them out, if it helps us out and them at the same time, all for it.
Yes, sure. Watch the other.
So cheers to that. But Necroceros. So this, you guys did it at Tom Meyer Studio. So I guess before we really jump into this, when was the time frame you guys actually recorded the record?
Well, that was in the middle of when we had the first Dutch lockdown.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. Because the thing was that. All of a sudden, all hell broke loose. And all the shows got cancelled. And I remember we returned from Sweden from the last show we played this year, like the real official one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, wow, it's getting terrible. And then all the countries decided to lock down, and we were like, and we might as well use the time then.
Yeah.
And see if Tom allows us to go into his studio. And so he says, sure. I mean, we have to keep a little bit distance, and I know you guys are not infected, so come along and see. So we start jamming a little bit, and we did that before already, like in November. But then we realized after hearing the tracks that was still not really finished. There still had to be some changes, minor changes, but still, just to make them really, really. Really good. So we did 2 more jam sessions just for the drum tracks, and then we could work on from that. And that was I mean, the basic recordings from that was in May, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then it was me in the middle of the lockdown here, because I had to go there, and then if I go, that was easiest for the guys also, you know, like, okay, Martin, see if you can get there by bus or whatever. And I was like scared, like there's probably not even a bloody bus driving, you know. And then I had to go in the bus with a mouth cap on and a mask, you know, all that stuff. Sitting there all alone, there was no one in there. It was a weird one. It was really weird. Like I had the feeling like I was in some misplaced scene in Walking Dead or something. You know?
Yeah, right.
Crazy. The apocalypse.
Basically, and it gets, you know, the whole thing's really kind of weird and hard to adjust to nowadays, but
it definitely is. But so we used the time well, and fortunately also is that we had a lot of stuff on the shelves, you know, like riffs. So we were basically ready to record, and we knew that we wanted to make an album anyway this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was the right time.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it, and we'll get right into it here. We'll go with. I guess if you're cool, that we'll do a little track by track and just tell us a little bit about each track if you're up for that.
Sure.
Awesome. Sure. So the track 1, we got The Soul Cure is Death, which is a great first title track there. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fast one, and it has basically that's why we picked it also as a starter, because it had basically all the ASPHYX ingredients in there.
Yeah.
And like it's got it's really fast, it's really aggressive parts, but it also has this typical, you know, mid part slower break. And in the beginning, I really had no idea what the hell to do with the song lyric wise.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how the hell I came up with that. I think I was reading something or watching some docus about like serial killers and really mentally disturbed, like you call like sex offenders, but really brutal ones, not the ones that go on the street and, you know, of course, offending women is always a shit thing to do, you know.
Right.
But, I mean, the ones that are really getting violent and all that. And so the idea was like, okay, here we have like certain institutions where they put all of these together. And I asked some people, like, do they really have those in the United States, or is just everybody put into a regular prison?
Yeah.
And they really didn't come up with an answer. So I was okay, just imagine this kind of institutional correctional center, but mainly inhabitants being really brutal sex offenders like pedophiles or sociopaths or psychopaths or whatever, and this whole mob escaped in one night, like hundreds of them, and you know, can't control their their urges, and then start this whole orgy of violence, and people get raped and stabbed and mutilated or whatever, and then the law enforcement, together with some civilian militias or whatever, just decides to, the best thing we can do now is shoot all these bastards, and that's the only cure for them right now.
Yeah.
You know, like don't let it happen again. Don't ever let them get back into some correctional center and escape again, and let this orgy of blood start again. So it's a bit of a fantasy story, but
that's right.
The little thing behind it is that I'm not pro a state that can actually decide to execute people, yes or no. I mean, the system is not, for me, like, it's not allowed to do that. But on the other hand, if you have like a daughter or a son, and as a parent, and then you find out that he or she is brutally murdered, raped, mutilated, then I think it's okay if they take revenge and get rid of this this abomination that did committed the act. And
Absolutely.
Then I think it would be okay for a judge to say, okay, maybe like a small sentence or not even one. Because I mean, it's not okay if people take the right in their own hands, but in these kind of cases, I would say, and that's a little bit the small idea behind it.
Right. So it's like, you know, the judge can be like, I have, this paper here, you can sign them off, or I have these scissors and you can cut off their genitals. I mean, whatever you'd prefer, you know.
So, that would be a nice one as well. Yeah.
Essentially, you know, that's actually a really good parallel.
I can imagine, you know, like if it happened to you as a parent, and then to live with the fact that, you know, that animal is still alive. I mean, that must be really, really hard.
Yeah, and harming other people, you know, potentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good fantasy play on that. Awesome, dude. That's a hell of an introduction to the record.
It had to be a little bit of a violent introduction.
Yeah, of course. And then we'll move on to track 2, Molten Black Earth.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it's the whole riffing and stuff is really bullflower related, as people can hear.
Yeah.
And if we're a little bit, filled with skepsis, because we thought, is it not too much bullflower? On the other hand, we said, well, bullflower are still good friends of ours and are still a good influence also of ASPHYX.
Oh yeah.
And apart from the fact that after the tragic death of Martin, may he rest in peace,
yes,
they will probably never get back together again.
Right.
So we said, well, maybe this will be like to honor him and an homage to Bullflower as a band. And because this track sounded so brutal, I was okay. I take on the subject that Bullflower would never do, and that's the tank battle of Kursk, which is the biggest tank battle in World War II. Because I thought, well, this song deserves it. So, and the earth where it took place, translated from Ukrainian, it was the whole place, the whole area was called the Black Earth.
Mm.
And so I go, okay, because it's with all the tanks and all the projectiles and missiles and everything was used. It was okay, like let's call it Molten Black Earth.
Yeah.
So that's basically the short story about that.
Awesome. That's cool. The ode to Boat Thrower. I've had Carl on. He's a wonderful guy too. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I sing also a little bit in that kind of style on the track.
Yeah. It's awesome. Huge fan of that stuff, and with Memoriam too. So it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that, and I like the World War II references and all that too. It's always been pretty neat, the history and stuff, and it's brutal.
It is.
So.
Yeah, I mean, as an American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Americans, they fought in all the theaters of World War II, so you have against the Japanese, against the Germans, basically involved everywhere. So there's still plenty of stuff to discover or to read or to find out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It will never end.
Then we'll go on to track 3, Mount Skull, which I love the title of that.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that one. That's a typical ASPHYX death doom track, to be honest. Like starting, it was like a slower, thriving riff, and then in the center, like it gets really fast. It's a bit of a really traditional way of ASPHYX songwriting, like the Wreck has that kind of songwriting. I think Cape Horn did that on Death of Brutal Way. So and the lyrical idea was a bit of a mixture between the polar discoverers, the adventurers of Amundsen and Scott. Yeah. And also like the novel of H.P. Lovecraft, The Mountains of Madness.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't take everything of it. The only thing what I did was the expedition and the cold, and all of a sudden I see this mountain rage, and one of these mountains is shaped like a human skull, and then reaches up high in the skies, and no one ever discovered that. And then they find a cave in the blizzard, and there's only one that survives in the end, and no one knows what the hell was down there. And they find him later, like decades later, with still a logbook in his hand and his body frozen, and that's basically it.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I like that. I like that story of Lovecraft really a lot. But the thing is, so many bands already did so much about Lovecraft that I wanted to change it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I took a lot from that story, but changed it a bit also, like to to make it my own ending.
Yeah, of course.
But no, it's not super original or something. I must admit that. Yeah.
Inspired,
Exactly.
Very inspired, which is still a good thing. You can make it more brutal in your own way, and the ASPHYX way.
Yeah, but the thing is a little bit. I mean, I didn't end the song really brutal. I mean, there's not really like people who get torn apart or
right.
Like that. That's not really not in that song.
Yeah.
What change?
Yeah. It's a solid title. Love the name. I'm excited to hear that one. That sounds really really fun. And then got track 4, Knights Templar Stand. That's another good title there.
Yeah, there's been a lot. I don't know what it is lately, but there's a big revival of this of the Knights Templar for some reason. I don't know why. Apparently, there's this myth, and people just want to, really interested in it. I don't know. It's really hyped at the moment. But
yeah,
I had the idea for a long time ago. I'm not going to change it because other bands all of a sudden they take it on. It's just it's a story about the Knights Templar that made the final stand in against the Saracens in I think it's now called Syria, in fact, which is still bloody war territory.
Yeah.
And it's that. So and I liked the music of Paul in it because there's not really a super fast part. It's more like up tempo pace.
Yeah.
Which is really good. There's some, we call it like a little bit of Celtic Froster Helmer related riffs in there, which is a big influence still of ASPHYX as well. So yeah, it's a typical like mid-pace kind of ASPHYX song. Wow.
It's awesome. And then we got number 5. We'll do 3 Years of Famine.
Famine. That's the Doom one, the real Doom one.
Yeah.
I think the best is comparable with Grand Denial on the previous album, Incoming. But this time, like, Paul completely, he feasted himself out on all kinds of melodic parts, and I was like, Jesus, Paul, this stuff is so, gets so under my skin. I'm not going to ruin that, like pumping it full with vocals,
Yeah.
So there will be hardly any places for me to sing in there. So I picked that out, and then it's such a tragic song that I was looking for. Yeah, like one of a really big tragedy in history of mankind, and the quite a modern one in modern history was the famine in China during the regime of Mao in the 50s.
Yeah.
With this was it like Cultural Revolution, I think.
Yeah.
That was just to read about that was just was completely insane. What happened there? I mean, you talk about, well, they don't know exactly how many died, and the numbers they still estimate, but some say that it may be over 45 million people that died, which is more than during the whole World War II.
Right.
So that shows how much of a megalomaniac Mao was. And what shocked me basically also about that is that they still have his face on the currency of today.
Yeah.
So I had to write about it. It just fitted the song perfectly, and I think it's one of the best maybe the best Doom song that we ever made, but definitely one of the very best.
Wow.
It's really goosebumps. I still get the goosebumps when I hear Paul's leads on that one.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
I'm really excited to hear that one, and wow, awesome.
Yeah, well, if you like the Grand Denial song, then you will like this one as well.
No, I did, definitely. Yeah. Still listening, coming.
Might even be an improvement of it.
Yeah. It's always good.
That's up to the listeners.
Yeah.
That's up to
I'm looking forward to that, definitely. And then we got the number 6, which is Botox Implosion. That one, you guys can check the video out now on YouTube and streaming. Want to listen to the track?
Exactly.
This one, I've had lyrics for and everything I've been able to look at, and I love this track. Like I said, I was surprised when it was just like, here's a new song and here's the album. It comes out January 22nd. I was like, oh, okay, awesome. And then, of course, the track didn't disappoint. It's just, it's definitely classic ASPHYX style. It's very good,
Yeah, that's a typical shredder, that we always use. I thought, okay, I always think like still in vinyl, so actually this is like the opening song of side B then.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is if you have it on CD or stream or whatever, it comes straight after that tragic one. So you can like, all of a sudden, bam, smack in the face. Because don't let the previous song get you down. So this was a good one, a really good one to come after that one. And the lyrics are just the usual funny mix between gore and death, and And this time I took on all these idiots that that are complaining about nose corrections and God knows what else.
Yeah, you mentioned.
I think it's just a really ridiculous scene.
You call him Bride of Frankenstein, which is pretty funny.
yeah, like in the end, the whole surgery goes wrong, and then wakes up and looks like bloody horrible.
Yeah. Or human toxic waste, as you say. You know.
Human toxic waste, exactly. I mean, how do we actually cremate these kind of people? You know, is it possible? You'd have to go to, to some chemical plant.
And over time, it just kind of happens like a,
Imagine that you have these people and then be like a big fanatic climate activist, but they're full of Botox and silicons or whatever. Come on.
They're out there too. It's the crazy part.
I bet.
You guys wanted to film the video on Sunset Boulevard, which would have been hilarious, but I thought
that was just a funny statement.
Oh yeah.
To Century Media wanted me to quickly make a, comment on it. It's like, okay, let's keep it a little bit funny, because that's where they all live,
Yeah.
I mean, we have that here too in the Netherlands. We have all this what is it like? Yeah, it's a small area where all these stars from TV and all that live, and they do the same shit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no one knows that, of course.
Just a money market. You're gonna have that kind of lifestyle, with people sometimes.
Exactly.
It's very weird.
Yeah, like the Michael Jacksons and all that.
And you can spot them a mile away. They're just like, oh, okay.
Actually, I'm not a fan of stuff like Motley Crue or that, but I was really shocked that, that guys like, hard rockers like Vince Neil or Axl Rose actually do facelifts. I go like, what the come on. It's bloody ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. I mean, there's also people sometimes coming to me and go like, you never thought about doing dyeing your hair? I go, fuck off. At least I still have my hair.
Right? Yeah, be fortunate.
Come on.
People that dye it is what makes them lose their hair. You're just dying.
Exactly.
It's kind of a catch-22. It's like, well, I look younger with my hair dyed black, but then my hair's falling out now. So all the fucking chemicals.
And the worst is that you have to keep it on dyeing all the time. Like after I don't know how much time, but then all of a sudden you have this line of grey hair in the center of your head. That looks like even more ridiculous.
And you got
for me, it's cool. I'm just glad that I have my hair, and I never think about it. But yeah, no, never came to mind. So
yeah, I'm cool with just letting my body deteriorate how it's going to.
Exactly. Look in the mirror. It's not going to change anything.
It's not going to be that bad for a while, hopefully. So I'll be all right.
We're all getting old,
all right.
Face the facts.
There's no facelift that's gonna fix it. Just let it do its thing. I don't want to look like a catfish, so I'm good.
Yeah, facelifts, and then afterwards the guys pump themselves full of Viagra, saying look, I'm still a youngster of 16 years old. I can do it. Come on.
Some of them think that, but they really look like funeral ready. They look worse. Imagine spending the money and it just doesn't. Not happy with it. Then what are you gonna do?
Yes.
But yeah, Botox implosion for all you listening. If you're interested now, it's.
We're drifting away.
Yeah, you can listen to it. Watch the video on Facebook or YouTube, anywhere, or you can stream it right now. Get your palate ready for the rest of this record coming out in a couple months. So, we got number 7, In Blazing Oceans.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, really. I remember that I had this riff from Paul somewhere in the whole folder where we put all those riffs, and then I was listening to it, and I go, why the hell did this thing land? The other riffs, this is really killer.
Yeah.
And then Paul goes, really? I said, yeah. I love this one. It's really different from all the rest. So he goes, so you want me to work more on this? I said, yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden he came with a full track back, and I go, hey, sorry, this is just fantastic. And then at the moment I have no idea what the hell to do with the vocals. So finally we got a little bit into that, and then I said, wouldn't it be something if we do something about an oil tanker in World War II that gets attacked by a submarine, but then seen from the perspective of the people on the oil tanker. And so that's what the song is all about. So there's an oil tanker trying to bring that bulk to Great Britain and to break through the blockade, and then he goes around Cape of Good Hope, Africa, because they had to go all the way there to get their oil because they didn't have the Suez Canal back then.
Yeah. And
then he gets torpedoed. There's people die like a horrible death, like burning and suffocating and covered in oil. It's just really horrible. And I thought, well, let's honor these, because they really got forgotten, in the history of the war. Like, all these sailors that try to deliver goods to, especially England, which was really suffering from the German blockade. Yeah, and they gave their lives basically. And there's like really a lot of sailors died that gruesome way. And I thought, okay, let's give them, let's give them a song, and then let them be remembered also.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's it. Yeah, it's not a fast song, but it has a bit of a strange kind of beat.
Yeah,
it's still really a pounder. It's like a kind of a pounding song, and then the lyrics come together when the torpedo is launched, and then all of a sudden Paul comes with a fantastic lead, and that's really chilling. So the lyrics are also a little bit built with the music. I really love it. It's really a track of ASPHYX that you really do not expect, but still, it's still us.
And you get, a little history lesson too, and a little bit of story involved,
A small one, but then really different, not like a battlefield or something, but
right.
From that point of view, because like I said, I read about that, and I could just imagine like how horrible that must be. I mean, they see the torpedo coming, and you're standing on a floating bomb.
Yeah. Right.
And and then you can just imagine, what's happening. I mean, it must be terrible. It must absolutely be terrible.
Yeah.
So a worthy topic, I guess.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one too, and like I said, I love the history you guys bring into it as well, and the music, of course, but just all the stories that you can project on one record is fascinating to me. So that's why I've always been a huge fan, and I appreciate that.
That's cool, because I put a lot of effort into it, and for me it also gives a lot of pleasure to take on sometimes topics that others have never taken on, and
right.
And afterwards you get like really positive feedback about it. So that's really that's really satisfactory, really cool.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, cheers. And number 8, The Nameless Elite.
This one. This time I decided, like, look, all the time we write about war is history, or World War II or World War One.
Right.
And all of a sudden I had I got hold of a book about a American that was part of Delta Force, which is a very special unit. I mean, it's known by name, but no one knows who's in there, and no one knows where they are now,
right?
And what they're doing, and especially in these times of terrorist attacks, and I mean, it happens bloody now all the time now. It just happened in Vienna, France again, had a couple of madmen, and I go, is this never going to stop?
Yeah.
And so but there's all these special units. Every country has them. I mean, the first one actually was the SAS, the English ones.
Yeah.
And the really first one was the German Brandenburgers, but
the
commando tasks, it was the SAS who really took that on in World War II. And later on, of course, you Americans developed into the SEALs and Delta, which is even more specialized.
Yeah.
But the Germans have GSG-9, the Mossad, the Israelis have their special. I mean, worldwide, every country has its as the special forces. And this, I was like, that the task of them changed throughout the years. Instead of having special like special operations behind enemy lines or whatever, now it's basically focused on combating terrorism.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why not why not write a song about these men that actually they actually are fighting for you and me right now, just like I said, at somewhere on this planet where you don't know where. I mean, it was funny because it was coincidentally, I think it was last week, where American special elite force liberated some American hostage somewhere. I don't know where it was, in Nigeria or Liberia, I don't know. And I was like, well, there you have it. And they only give you that news once the mission is over.
Yeah.
And you don't, but you will never find out who these guys are. I mean, they're anonymous, and they have to be, because else they will be easy to track and eliminate as well. So that's why I call them the Nameless Elite. And that's what the song is all about. But that's purely lyric wise. But I think it's one of the most stomping ASPHYX songs on the whole damn album. I mean, it's really a neck breaker.
Yeah.
And, I love it. I mean, I love all the songs, but I think this is one of the most outstanding songs of the whole album when it comes to the power and the shredding, and it's really a heavy track.
Oh yeah, well, I always look forward to those. And, again, it's really cool. And I guess now with the, like we were saying about special forces, I guess now they call a lot of these newer groups like counter-terrorism operations or whatever.
Yeah, but they already get drafted from the special forces.
Yeah.
And if you see like
even have ex-SEALs, stuff like that, appointed.
I think it was the SEALs who, for example, who assassinated Osama bin Laden.
They did, yeah. SEAL Team 6.
So that was one of these actions and one of these missions.
Oh yeah.
And of course they only said it after he was assassinated.
Of course, yeah.
There's no point in predicting that, The guy will hide. Luckily he's dead.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Yeah, well done. Well, it's cool we're talking about today. Today in the U.S. is actually our Veterans Day, so it's kind of didn't even think about that,
That's cool, though.
So it's kind of cool to be talking to you today and talking about all this stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, let's have one for all the veterans then, and may they be remembered.
Exactly. Yes.
But it was remembered last weekend in England.
Yeah.
That was basically the one for World War One.
Wow.
So that was also really, really impressive. Yeah. Big broadcast on BBC and all the you call it soccer, we call it football. The football matches that was a big. It was really impressive. Yeah. So it's good. It's good that they have special days, to remember.
Of course.
In your case, are the veterans of all the wars and the guys who gave their lives, or women as well, of course.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We should never forget.
No. And then all the ones that are back home that lost their friends and stuff like that, and families that lost their loved ones as well, and it all comes full circle with that. So it's good for them to have that, or at least people where they're kind of reminded to pay their respects if they don't already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's. I mean, it will never bring them back, but at least it can give them a little bit the feeling that they get respected a little bit and maybe a bit soothed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we'll move on to towards the end of this album here. We got number 9, Yield or Die.
Yeah, that was like I was curious that I didn't find anyone with a song title like that. I go like, this is just this is a cool title. And I go back to music wise and also lyric wise, it's a bit we called it when we started working on this, we called it Forerunners 2. So it's a bit Forerunners of the Apocalypse, the next chapter. Similar kind of pace. It's a headbanger, Somebody else said to me, like, you wrote a heavy metal song. I said, well, you can call it that way, but it still sounds bloody heavier than any heavy metal song.
Yeah.
Or modern heavy metal song. And it's again about the Mongols of Genghis Khan, because I'm still fascinated by that one. And it's a really heavy song. It's got all the Mongol brutality in it, and so simply yield or die. That's how they were, and that's what else to do. I really recommend if people can get a hold of stuff like that to read about that, because they were really special and the biggest conquerors in the history of mankind.
Absolutely.
From was it? All the east till China, and they were here in Hungary, which is almost in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, and no one else ever achieved that. That's insane. That's like I said, Forerunners too. We used to call it, and I think people will. If they hear it, they go like, yeah, it's a bit. I mean, it's not exactly similar, of course, but a bit.
Nothing wrong with that, because it's a killer track too. Absolutely. And then number 10, we get to the title track, which is Necroceros.
Yeah, that's a monster. that's really a monster. I love this track. It's really dark and grim, and it's really sinister. And also from the riff atmosphere, but also the atmosphere of the track. And we finish it, and then it's just end of the album, and that's how, for me, like an album should end. Like, just you break your neck and then it's over. That's the idea behind it. And the lyric wise is a fantasy thing. I love that. I love that sometimes. Like fantasy comics or sci-fi, whatever. And then Necroceros is just a entity from some universe that it's a planet consumer and a universe destroyer. So it doesn't live the way we live, or what we consider life. So it cannot die either. So in the end of the song, because there's a whole little story, end of the song, it gets hold of planet Earth. First it consumes like Venus, Mars, and all that, and then it's our turn, and nothing we can do. we're all gonna die. And then you get the end of the song, which is just the as the French say, the grand finale. I love that one. I think people are going to be really surprised about that track, because it's at first you may think like this is really not typically ASPHYX, but on the other hand, it's such a massive beast of a song.
Yeah.
But as a metalhead, you just have to like it, I think. There's no way of disliking this. If you don't like this, then you have no bloody clue what metal is all about, really, in my opinion. But that's my humble opinion.
Exactly. So there hasn't been a ASPHYX song I haven't liked, so I'll be very surprised.
Okay. And to finish this off, you probably will not know this. There is 2 bonus tracks, though.
Awesome.
But the first is actually, we call it Full Death Metal Scenario.
Yeah.
Because when the pandemic broke out, and all that stuff was happening, I said to the guys in the mail, like, Jesus Christ, this is a full death metal scenario, what's going on? It's a pandemic, people die, people get infected, that's what we write about all the time.
Yeah.
That's what people expect us to write. So Paul came with a fast shredder, and the reason why we picked it as a bonus track is that to us it had a bit of similarities of tracks like Incoming Death or maybe like not really Death Ham, because there's only 2 riffs, but a bit Incoming Death. So he said may not be strong enough for the album, who knows, but still it's a cool track, definitely. And I quickly wrote a couple of words about what's going on, the pandemic, the lockdowns, the way that stupid way people behaved, a bit honoring the ones in the front line. In this case, it was the people in the hospitals and all the caretaking personnel and stuff. So, and of course our own position. Like, wow, all of a sudden we get stuck here and there's no shows. So,
right.
Let's hit the studio. So that's Full Death Metal Scenario. And the last track is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
We actually didn't want to. It was not really to publish, but it was just it was good fun. So Sajmia said, this is cool, like let's just publish this damn thing. We're okay, but that was as a bonus track. And that was a fun thing. Paul all of a sudden sent something. How about this, guys? And I was like, eh? we were all laughing, like, hey, what is this? ASPHYX meets Iron Maiden or something, or meets Hammerfall, or what do you want? And then I go, you want me to write like a really heavy metal cliche text on it? And so I did, like really stupid lyrics that are, don't take this thing serious.
Yeah.
And then I was doing that in the studio, and Alvin and Husky were, accompanying me, and then also like, being like a kind of a second or third opinion. And sometimes you need a kick in the ass for your vocals, or just try improvements or ideas out. And I go, let us do the chorus on this one. Let us do the chorus. So we all three. Tom quickly put an extra microphone. All of a sudden, we were like standing with the three of us, like doing this really stupid chorus, like we send it to Century Media, like. For all you people, this is the first ASPHYX track of the album. It's ready. We think it's a shredder. We think live this will kick ass. And then they came with this really diplomatic answer. Like probably desperate. Like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. So that's the reason why we, why they also said, okay, let's put it on as a bonus track. But not that people think. Are these guys stupid, or are they selling out? No, this absolutely the case.
There's the first track.
Humor has always been a part of metal throughout the ages. So,
sure.
Iron Maiden did that, and Venom did it, and Motorhead did it. So we were like, why not?
Yeah.
Let people have a laugh. In fact, the track was called afterwards Triple D. Because we have this merchandise that says like Death Doom Division.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So the chorus go like your Death Doom Division. So you go, okay, let's call it Triple D.
It's a good one.
So there you have the full album, and including the bonus tracks.
Yeah, and then those tracks, what I understand, I don't know if it'll be on the regular digipack or what, but I know it'll be on the vinyl. We'll have the bonus tracks. I'm not sure about if it'll be on everything, but I'm sure digital you can still get it on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So you all have your chance. But
no, people can get it anyway if they want. It's just that there is this, I think right now, because I've seen so many different releases they're going to do about this album, and there's already a couple of sold out already in the pre-sales now. Yeah, in the pre-orders. Yeah, it's incredible.
There's a deluxe gatefold. There's a whole bunch of those, 2 LPs, and there's the media book, and the media book's actually really cool because it comes with your live performance, your 2017 concert that you guys did, which is really neat. And then it's got a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up all the stuff here. There's like 3 different things here.
Well, what's on it too? What's on it too is the 30th anniversary show.
Yeah, that's it.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a really special one because it was 30th anniversary. It was 2 days. It was completely sold out.
Yeah.
And we invited like a lot of all the old members, to join in. So they jumped during the set. They jumped on stage, and we swapped all the time like lineups. So all of a sudden it was Bob behind the drums, or then it was Eric with Paul like doing Last One on Earth, or Tony Broker is doing Abomination Echoes, and Tony is only. He only played the demos.
Yeah.
So first of all, it was really a tough one to get everyone together.
Absolutely.
And even to find because like Tony, we couldn't find him. He disappeared off the earth. He had no social media. We didn't know his address, no phone, nothing. So it's really special. It was really a special event. And the problem was a little bit because we wanted to record it, but then everything went wrong with the sound.
Yeah.
So afterwards, it was a while afterwards, I saw the, Bomber, who was the one with the crew of the videos and all that, and he was a bit shocked, came to me like, Martin, what have I heard? They're not going to release that, the whole video recordings because the sound is bad? I go, what? I said, nah, it's not going to happen.
Damn.
And we had some discussion back and forth, and then we decided, like, look, it's not so bad, I mean, it's just not a professional live sound as you may expect. But come on, it sounds better than the average bootlegs that we used to have as kids.
Right.
So and I think we mentioned it also on the album that the sound is not it's not as good as what people may expect. But it's not about. Of course, it's a bit. The sound is also important as well. But it was more important just to catch the vibe of that whole special event.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely will. And so there will be interviews with everybody and some rehearsal footage also. So it's really a special one, and we really love it. It was a lot of work to to create that one.
Sure.
So it's really a special release. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it's got like over 2 hours of playing time. 30 years of Death Doom domination. There's the triple D for you. So
exactly. Again. Yeah.
So that comes with the media book CD edition. It's a separate DVD, and it also will be on the vinyls too, the 2 LPs, the limited ones. So there's so many different colors you guys can pre-order. Some of them I'm sure are sold out by now. A lot of them are. And then
by the way, I have no idea exactly what they will because there's so many different distributors also taking place there. So I don't know what I don't even know exactly what the offer is now in the US. Because apparently you have to order it through the US distributors, and they may have like different versions than they have here in Europe.
Yes, there's in Central Media web shop in Europe, you got clear vinyl and dark green, and you got all these exclusive ones, and then the US will have like olive green and brick red and white LP that's from Revolver, and transparent, or you got all these colors, and of course people from all over the world are gonna go to get stuff from the US or get stuff from the European web stores, what have you. So it's gonna be crazy. Hopefully everybody just buys them all out, and then,
well, I mean, even if the cool thing is that even if everything will be sold out, is that this time the regular vinyl, like the regular black vinyl, it's not limited.
Right.
So if there will be no vinyl left anymore, they will just say, okay, they will just reprint a couple of black vinyls again.
Yeah.
So everybody will definitely have his vinyl.
Yeah.
So that's I thought that was a cool thought, not to say like, okay, this one's remains limited. Yes, the special colors, of course, but not the regular black one.
Yeah, that's the unlimited one. So that's really cool, and so everybody gets a chance to get something out of it. So, and if you're a CD guy like me, you still get the media book and have the DVD as well. And I try to get a little bit of everything, and I like to get the shirts and stuff too. So anytime there's a bundle with all that, I usually pick that one too. So, I'm still a physical media guy. People can buy it, stream it. Do whatever you gotta do as long as you're listening to it and supporting the band. Do your thing. So
as long as it's all official, it's good.
Right.
And,
and then
but hey, there will always be kids like that download it, and it's okay because I try to compare that always with when I was a kid. I couldn't buy all the records that came out.
Yeah.
And so what we did with friends, we made out like okay, I'm going to buy this, you're going to buy that, and I'll tape it from you. So we had like cassettes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you put it on your record player, and then you let the cassette roll and record it, and at least you had it. And in fact, it's nothing else, Then if you download an album, it's copying too.
Yeah.
Fact. But yeah, you cannot expect every kid in the world to buy all the metal releases that come out. It's impossible. So yeah, there's some. But yeah, some do download, and then they come to the shows and then buy your shirts. That's okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all right.
The support's still there. They're getting to the music somewhere, and they'll show their support.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
I mean, they come to the shows, they pay the ticket, they buy some merchandise. I mean, it's all right. And then later on, they will probably say, all right, now I've got some extra money. Let's buy the CD, or let's buy the record, or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not all so bad.
Right. Yeah.
We're not Metallica,
Yeah, you're not gonna sue anybody, but and one more thing, people can read up on all this, but the US versions of the LP will be available on February 12th, so it'll be a little bit after for the LPs, but you can still listen to the record before you get your LPs in, but it's a little bit delayed for the US versions of the LPs, so.
Okay, you work slower there? Is it because of that?
I don't know. I don't know why. They're all, they're they're running a little behind here or something. I don't know. They want to make them wait for certain things, I guess.
Slow working ethics.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, America. So, but yeah.
I'm not gonna offend the whole American industry.
It's like, what are you doing? You a little slow or something? Yeah. One more thing I want to get into.
The whip, damn it! Introduce a whip.
You do, if things pan out here, or have shows lined up in Germany and stuff like that, in France, Austria. Hopefully it'll happen.
Yeah, we hope to. We hope to. I mean, it's
starting in what?
Yes, it's all
May.
It's still in the planning, but it's also because bookers they gotta. Yeah, they keep on working, and hopefully, and they have to anticipate and be ready if once once things get a little bit back to normal again. And on the other hand, we did already 3 so-called official Corona shows.
Yeah.
As they call, which were strictly limited to a certain amount of people. They had to sit. But yeah, it was a different experience. But for us, it was okay, it works. You know? And they always sold out, all of them, of course. Yeah, because you couldn't get the normal amount of people. So
right.
And it was a weird experience at first, but then you see them because you think this is going to be weird, playing in front of a sitting audience, but they just remain in the seat and they rage in sitting position, bang their heads and throw the fists, and in the end, you get a standing ovation still, and it was really special.
Yeah.
And then you go we played in the middle of the damn pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something never to forget. But yeah, for us it was easy because most of the men live close to the German border, so we hop in the cars and we drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, for an American band, first there were probably no plane available or any other band, so we had that opportunity and we took it on. But yeah, right now the situation is again so bad that those shows cannot even happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, once the amount of infections get lower again, we're the first to take on a couple of so-called Corona shows on again. So
the Corona shows.
You think? Yeah, that's how they call it.
Yeah. Well,
that's what we entered the stage first with bottles of Corona in our hands. All right.
Well, hopefully, you get to play some of the, you got some in, like I said, Germany in February coming up, and maybe it'll be different then in May, and then April, you guys. Hopefully they'll have Inferno Fest. I don't know, what's up with that. It's all these promoters too. It's pretty much day to day with what they can do, and they don't know if they have to postpone it again or keep the same lineup till next year after they've already postponed it a year. I mean, it's just we don't know till we get to it. But hopefully, you guys can get out there sooner than later and get the promote the shows, promote the record and. The way you guys love to do it the most, and
definitely. But yeah, it's like someone said to me, at the moment it's a slaughterhouse. There's really festivals go broke or promoters go broke, and not just them. There's nightliner companies, there's PA rentals. And unfortunately, politics, they do understand that big companies sometimes need support from the government, but they're not thinking about that particular kind of business. So they're all suffering really, really bad, and it's not just us, but especially them. So it would be best for all parties, if we can get back to at least a little bit of normal again.
Yeah.
And for us, it's playing live is the reason why we do it. I really miss that. It's like total. You say that it's almost like a kind of a cold turkey. Shit, I want to go on stage. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to the new album, and hopefully, like I said, you get back to things get back to normal eventually, or at least to a point where things seem a little more normal. And for now, we'll just anticipate the music and what you guys have to put out there, and we'll support it, and we'll enjoy it and bang our heads to it.
Thanks a lot, thanks for the words, and for you goes the same, I mean, hopefully everything will get back to normal, and until then, be safe, and well, hopefully there will be a lot of good music to, at least out so you can listen to, so you got some distraction.
Absolutely.
But at least bang your hat then at home, instead of in front of a stage, unfortunately. But yeah,
do the best we
That's
can.
Exactly, cope with things and do the best we can. So thank you. It was really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem. And then new ASPHYX album Necroceros comes out January 22nd on Central Media Records. Martin, thank you. Yeah, it's been awesome, and thanks again. And it's always good talking to you. And I look forward to the new record, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Like I said, it was a pleasure, and to you too. Be safe and all the best, and may things get back to normal really, really soon.
Yeah, stay safe. Yeah, cheers, man. Stay safe out there.